Well, good morning, everyone. I guess as Annette stated, Omar's not going to be able to join us, at least not here in person. So I got the honors of sitting here next to Annette and chairing subcommittee, I guess for one day. So I guess with that being said, I think we can go ahead and get started. I guess I'm not sure who from ACOM is on, who's going to take the lead, but as we just talked about, we did have a previous meeting and we went through over the presentation. So I don't know if you all want to just kind of go through briefly go through the presentation and kind of just highlight, I guess, the revisions that we I guess that were made from our last discussions.
Can I take it, Gilbert? And do those?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Take the lead on this one. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, so basically, what this meeting is to provide the last opportunity for comments on the edits we made in the July 19th, 2022, and then take a vote on it. And we're going to do exactly what Gilbert Saldana said. We're going to basically go through the table that we ended up with at the end of that meeting. And Susan Roth, who worked on the edits of that table, is going to basically take us through a red line version of the previous table, so we can just get back into our heads what the changes were, and then we'll vote. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Susan.
Thank you, Jeff. And yes, and I appreciated everybody's great input from the subcommittee meeting that we had last Tuesday. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to show y'all, as you probably might remember, as we were going through the discussion of the different tables, the 8 tables, I was making edits based on everybody's feedback and comments. And let me pull that up now so that we can kind of walk through each of the tables. You can, again, just as a refresher, to see some of the edits and comments that we had. Do this. Okay, I hope everybody can see my screen all right.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. The first table, 8.1, was legislative recommendations for the El Paso County area stakeholders. And I think if y'all remember, we had this recommendation was actually below in 8.2. You can see that right there in the highlighted pink. We had all discussed moving that recommendation up to 8.1 under legislative, moving it from regulatory administrative to legislative. So that was one of the first items that we took care of. And then the other item that I went through based on some of the feedback was we had discussed, if y'all remember, just coordinating with different jurisdictions. And so we wanted to add the Railroad Commission. So throughout all of these tables, I've added RRC for Railroad Commission.
Can I add?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, any place that the Railroad Commission's added, we should probably add my agency as well, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
Oh, yes, we'll add TCQ.
Yeah,
yes.
Our roles are very similar, just with different industry groups.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for the feedback. And
I should have said that last time.
Oh, it's all right. We had, as y'all know, we had so many items that we were discussing. No, that's a great comment. In fact, I should have remembered that as well myself. So that'll be great. I'll go through, as we go through these tables right now, I'll insert TCEQ, you know, where we added the Railroad Commission. That's great. Okay. And then after we had moved this one recommendation up to the legislative list, and if y'all remember, we discussed as far as about counties and their role. We had mentioned that we wanted counties should have the option to be empowered to enforce drainage requirements within the requirements for a certificate of compliance. Y'all remember that one?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if we have any comments. Here's some more on the Railroad Commission. I'll add in TCQ. Okay, if there's no comments, moving on now to table 8.3, fundraising recommendations. And this was again for the El Paso County area stakeholders. We didn't have any comments there. 8.4, other recommendations. Now this one we had quite a bit of discussion. On this second one, the second row, where it talks about coordinating with TxDOT to get clarity on maintenance at specific locations. If y'all remember, we discussed especially adding in at specified crossings. So that was clarified on that recommendation on all of the tables where that came up. And then the third recommendation under this on this table about coordinating a grading plan or other permit approvals with consideration of flood risk. We made the edit of revising what was listed and entirely rewriting it as no permits shall be issued unless grading plans have been approved. Okay, moving right along to table 8.5. Now we're back to legislative recommendations, but this is for the flood planning area outside of El Paso County, for the more rural areas. And again, it's that same recommendation I'll show you that was down in 8.6. We moved that recommendation up to from regulatory administrative up to the legislative recommendations as far as counties to consider adoption of drainage requirements beyond areas that are in flood zone. Okay. I feel like I'm going through these a little bit quickly. I don't know to this point, does anyone have any comments before we move on to table 8.6? Okay, moving on to 8.6. This is regulatory administrative recommendations. And again, this is for the flood planning area outside of El Paso County. And on the very first recommendation listed, we added, it says develop program to regulate drainage from development in Hudspeth County. And we listed also and similar counties that elect to participate. If y'all remember that discussion. I know that was just a week ago, but it feels like it's been a little bit longer. There's so much everybody's got going on. Okay, oh, here's Railroad Commission. Let me add it. Okay. As far as improving coordination with other jurisdictions. And then, of course, as y'all know, we moved that one recommendation listed here up to the legislative recommendations. And then right underneath it again, it's that same recommendation that we saw up above for just the El Paso County area, where we modified counties should have the option to be empowered to enforce drainage requirements. Not including, but should. Let me add in TCQ. TCQ here. Okay, moving right along. Now we're to table 8.7, fundraising recommendations. And this is for the flood planning area, again, outside of El Paso County. The edits that we had. And Annette, I'm glad that you're part of the discussion today as well. We discussed and decided as a group to remove listing the COG and instead to replace it as the region to take action. And then, so as we have listed here, under the flood mitigation implementation, we've listed the region to take action to create a partial staff position to provide a regional resource within the, instead of COG, we put the Regional Flood Planning Group to assist small communities, low population counties in seeking support for grant preparation. I don't know if anyone has any comments on that before we move to table 8.8, the last table. Okay, the last table, 8.8, other recommendations. And again, this is for the flood planning area outside of El Paso County. And again, it was kind of the common theme as we discussed, replacing COG with region or regional flood planning group. And so I went through and did a find and replace. And so again, the region to take action instead of the COG to create a partial staff position to provide a regional resource within the regional flood planning group to assist small communities, low population counties in seeking support for these issues. Staff position could be potentially funded by additional TWDB RFP allocations. We also replaced the COG with regional flood planning group to request TWDB support in development of web portals to facilitate communication, relevant data collection, tracking of queries, and document network of available support. And then this next recommendation, very similar again, the same exact recommendation, again, replacing COG with region and with regional flood planning group. Does anyone have any comments so far? This next recommendation, we discussed creating an MOU to clarify maintenance responsibilities. And again, it was the same one that we had listed up above for the El Paso County area. And again, it's at specified crossings. We're almost to the very end here. And again, very similar recommendation. Again, we replaced COG with region and also with regional flood planning group. It's this exact same recommendation that I just read through up above. And then this flood mitigation implementation recommendation, again, very similar, replace COG with region and also with regional flood planning group. And here we are at the very end of the table. Again, for this last one, for small communities lacking resources. Again, very similar again with the recommendation, replaced COG with region and also with regional flood planning group. And there you have tables 8.1 through 8.8 with all of the red line edits that we discussed last Tuesday. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
So then, I guess through the chair, if I may, we've got, so it sounds like it'd be appropriate for us to take on agenda item 5. And I can, if I can just make a note that, again, through the chair, we will not take any action on agenda items 2 through 4. And is that okay with you, Jeff, that we would move right into number 5?
And to do the vote, is that what you're asking me?
Yes, sir. Or there was
Yes,
anything
I
else?
think, yes, that's exactly what I'd like to do at this point, is just go to agenda item number 5 and do the vote as I've got on the screen here.
Okay. Maybe.
Can I enter, can I get anybody to motion for approval?
Anita, would you want to do that? I think she's on mute. Anita, would you want to make the motion? Yeah, you're on mute, Anita.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was coming in a little choppy. Yes, we can make a motion.
Okay, and then I believe Omar might have some issues with his audio. So I think what we can do is, yeah, Gilbert, if you can make a second.
I'll second it.
And then I guess we'll do all those in favor. By saying aye, raise your hand.
All in favor?
Okay. All right, great.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so then again, through the chair, I think what we can do then is for tomorrow's meeting, we will Gilbert can inform the group that these actions were voted on and that the tables as provided are what was recommended by the subcommittee group to be included in chapter 8 for the submission of the draft plan. So I think that can conclude today's meeting. I know that let's see, Richard, is there, as a representative of Water Development Board, is there anything else you would like to mention?
I don't have any comments at this time. Just stating what is known. This is just a recommendation to the full group, which you guys have the meeting tomorrow to finally approve all the changes to the draft plan. And that's the sequence of actions that are happening. So
Okay,
that's all
great.
that I have at the time.
Thank you. All right, well then, I think you Gilbert can tout that he chaired the shortest meeting of the planning group.
Yes. And to everybody's favorite part, I guess, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Anita? Anybody?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Great. I guess I'll second that.
Yes,
So with that, I guess,
we can adjourn the meeting at 9:23.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, well,
Thank you,
thank you.
guys.
Thanks.
Thanks all.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. We'll catch you all tomorrow again. Have a good day.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
you
you.
guys. I
Bye.
appreciate your help.
Thanks so much.